Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Army Piper. This is the Piper Academy Network, guys. Bitcoin getting a little bit of a pump here this morning. We did get the little green uptrend going right now, saying, hey, you might have some upside moving here at this bottom range that we were in. And guess what? We did get that move. Right now, looking at the hourly bubbles, we are pretty much green across the board at market open. Markets are closed today for TradFi, but we are watching to see how crypto plays out because, you know, crypto 24/7. So watching that right now on the daily, guys, are seeing a little bit of red. OM, Solana, Jupiter Virtuals, Litecoin, Trump, Coin, Ray, all giving us a little downside move. But overall for the market cap today, looking at Bitcoin only down 0.1%. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that. Taking that look at some articles today, guys. We're going to talk about Litecoin. Is it possible for a 1,500% move on Litecoin in the world of dominance? We're going to talk about that. We've got a great breakdown for Bitcoin dominance and why we are watching that versus Litecoin, plus Bitcoin dominance in general. What does 71% mean for Bitcoin dominance? We'll look at that also, guys. We're going to break it all down, that and a whole lot more, to include a rug pull by a pro-crypto president down there in Argentina. So, guys, welcome to the Morning Market Report. It's time. Let's do it. Class is in session. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. Thank you guys for joining us here. Let's go ahead and bring OC up here with me. OC guy, my co-host right there. What's up, bro? You're sitting a little low today. You low riding over there in Mexico? What's going on with you?
Not much. Just slippery shorts today.
Friends have a low rider. How was your weekend, man?
Oh, that was a cool weekend. Pretty good. Did a lot of house cleaning. There's a lot going on since we are under construction, remodeling, because of the panels and stuff. A lot of dust. I'll also take advantage of decluttering my home. You know, like that time when you start finding all the things that your little gnomes hid around the corner, right? Well, now that you're not searching for it, it just happens to appear.
Amazing how that works. A little organization goes a long way. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. We got Mike Volmer. He was in here this morning early saying, what's up? Good morning, Piper. What's up to you, man? R.S. Miller is in the house with us. Username in here. Drop in the rib chat. It's too early for ribs, man. Coffee cups. We got coffee cups for that. Indie Rock Crypto, the IRC, man, in here with us. Lunar Beaches Crypto with the markets after dark. In here with us, Ninja Glock. Also, Donato Cabrero. Duality Crypto saying hello. Hello to you, man. What's up? Hart in here with us, Crypto Coin Mindset. Robert Mulligan, one of our newest members in our Discord. Love to see him over there and here. Wix Wi-Fi 89. Wix Wi-Fi 89. I'm going to need you and RS Miller to hold down the moderation today because Alexandra G has taken some well-deserved vacation time. So shout out to our mod queen, but don't worry, you guys are in good hands. We still got 2Dub in the house with us and RS Miller. So we got some moderators in here. Let's go ahead and jump over and let's just knock out the news. Let's get that out of the way today. And then let's get into some charts, OC, because kind of boring markets in general right now, but let's see where there's some potential at, right? What crisis, I don't know if you know this or not, but crisis, OC, in Chinese symbology, the lettering is actually two words together. Did you know that crisis is two words actually? Yeah, in Chinese, crisis is the Chinese symbol for danger or caution, right? And then the other one is they say some people say it's opportunity, but it's actually not opportunity. It is a point of change is actually what the etymology is on that word, point of change. So crisis, economic crisis, being what it might be coming with all the news that's out, could be an opportunity, right? It could be a point of change. So yeah, we're going to take a look at the news and see what it's telling us, because all of this boring price action could easily flip us in a different direction really quickly. And that different direction, while could be dangerous, could be a point of change that we are looking for to make some money in this market. So yeah, let's go jump into the news, OC, and we'll see. We'll talk about the crisis. Let's go over there and take a look. Taking a look at the news, guys. Let's get this squeezed in there. There we go. Looking right now at the crypto market cap, we're at $3.23 trillion. The trend line is coming in at $3.47 trillion. We are currently 7% undervalued of where we should be at for the main trend of the crypto market at this time of the season. Harp said, OC, I'm confused. Doesn't the curl drop only after the glasses are off? No. OC rocks the Superman curl like a boss in any type of situation. So looking at the current risk level for Bitcoin, guys, we're at 57.7% risk band right now, 0.577 there on the risk chart. So what that means that it's a DCA times 2 day. And we do a whole thing over in our Discord. Not a shill on it. Just going to tell you guys, we do a DCA thing on Mondays. And so Monday morning, I get excited about DCA day. That is what I look at. I'm going to actually show you guys today where my DCA reset, hit that button, is currently at. So let's go jump over and take a look at the Bitcoin dominance. We're going to be talking about this in a little while. Right now, currently at 59.77% with stables. Without the stables, Bitcoin dominance is at 64.29. And we're going to explain while we're watching for that 71% of dominance with stables. That would be the with stables 71%. So we'll be taking a look at that. Let's go jump over and check out the fear and greed. Brought to us by Into the Cryptoverse. Got a link down below, guys. But if you don't want to, pay $100 a month, you can just come check it out on the Discord. We do a lot of stuff with it. So let's go take a look at the current fear and greed right now, sitting at 51. We are currently in neutral there on the fear and greed index, and that is our update today from crypto into the Cryptoverse. Let's look at the crypto bubbles here, pushing the bubbles over. Get over there. Get over there. There you go. Looking at the daily, guys. Let's go down and take a look at these levels. Bitcoin, what are you doing today? What are you doing? You're down 0.3% on the daily Bitcoin, down 3%, 0.3%, not 3%, excuse me. Up 0.2% on the hourly ago, though, sitting at 96,749, just under 750 there. Ethereum's up $2,800, guys, up it was 4.9, now 4.8% on the daily, 1.3% on the hourly. XRP down about 1% on the daily, sitting at $2.70. BNB's up 0.7% at 680. Solana down 3.4% on the daily, down 0.9% on the hourly at 183.82. Doge down about 0.5%, 26 cents. Cardano's up 6.6%. Getting some moves on these altcoins today, guys. Be careful, though. They can easily just flip right back around and take away all those gains, because you can see we're still here on the monthly. We're still down 23.5% on Cardano as Bitcoin just continues to trade sideways, giving a lot of little pumps and dumps in the altcoin world. So Tron up 1.1%. Chainlink up 3.9% at 1974. Avalanche coming in at number 12. Up 2.2% on the daily at $25.79. Stellar Lumens up 0.1%, losing its position in number 12 to Avalanche, dropping down to number 13. Now flat. It's flat, guys. There you go. Just switch to that. Sui is down 0.4% at $3.33. Toncoin moving up 2 spots to number 15, up 2.2%. Shiba Inu, bunch of zeros, up 0.8%. Hedera is at 22 cents. It is down a little bit today. Litecoin dropping 3 positions here, but we're going to talk about this. Litecoin dominance versus Bitcoin. And we're also going to look at the chart. I actually think that we do have some support coming in right now on Litecoin, maybe getting another bounce on this real soon. $123 right now, down 3.7 on the daily. Might be opportunity. And then Hyperliquid rounding out the top 20 here, up 0.2%. So let's go jump over to economic calendar, talk about what's coming this week with this, guys. Not a lot, I'll tell you that. We do have today, just some speakers. Again, federal holiday today, so we're not seeing a whole lot going on today. Tomorrow, we're going to get manufacturing state, New York State, Empire State Manufacturing Index updates. We're going to get some building permits coming in and housing FOMC minutes. That's going to be probably the biggest one this week. And then initial jobless claims right now looking to be much higher this week than what it was last week. 213,000 last week, expected to be as high as 220,000 people filing for unemployment this week. So, and then Friday, rounding it out there with existing home sales. I do have an article talking about this. Where is it at? 3 economic events with crypto implications this week in February. Let's go take a look at what those 3 are. January FOMC minutes. We talked about that one's going to be the big one. This is one of the most important U.S. economic data points this week. as what policymakers say could help markets further gauge the Fed's interest rate outlook. The minutes come after recent reports indicating that CPI inflation jumped month over month. This effectively marked bad news in the short term, with the crypto market showing negative sentiment. However, there are no major signs of inflation reacceleration. The Fed Chair Jerome Powell told Senate Banking Committee that he is not in a hurry to cut interest rates. So higher for longer. That's what we're back to. The next one, initial jobless claims, guys, are going to be beyond those FOMC minutes. We're going to be getting those initial jobless claims. And as of right now, like I said, it could be as high as 220,000 people filing for unemployment this week versus 213,000. That would show a weakening of the labor force. That's the line, please. Labor force. And then consumer sentiment. We're going to be getting the consumer sentiment index. That's going to be coming out. And that is a positive reading on Friday, can increase optimism in financial markets, including cryptocurrency. This could result in higher demand for Bitcoin as investors seek assets with growth potential. Bitcoin definitely in that list. So what else do we have over here on X marks the spot? Let's go to the bookmarks. Oh, yeah, here we go. Guys, Bitcoin longs versus shorts on exchanges right now. We got to talk about this because I think that until this flips and turns a little bit, we could be looking at a situation where we are seeing more lows coming in. And here's the reason why. Because Bitcoin longs versus shorts ratios on the centralized exchanges, looking at Binance, Bybit, and OKX, sitting at just under 61% of all trades are longs versus 39% being shorts. And because of that, I do think that the market makers are going to want to grab that liquidity and shake out those longs before they pump it up. That would mean they need to bring the price down, wipe them out, and then let the price go up. They don't typically want to pump the market when everybody's wanting the market to pump. So that's how I'm looking at that one right now. What else do we have here on the bookmarks today? X marks the spot. Back to bookmarks. Can you go to book? Oh, we are in bookmarks. Okay. 71%. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Oh, just in. President Milei sued for fraud by Argentine lawyers for endorsing the $107 million rug pull, and he risked impeachment. If you guys don't know about this, this is a pro-crypto president of Argentina that wants to do pretty much what El Salvador did with Bitcoin, right? Well, he launched this via X, via a post on X. He launched this token called Libra, a coin that he said aimed at encouraging economic growth by funding small businesses and startups. Cool. Has a good utility usage for it. It's got a purpose, right? It's a pro-crypto president. A lot of people jumped in on this. Suddenly, 8 insider wallets cashed out over $107 million in liquidity within hours of the launch. So there you go. Another rug pull by another president. And got some interesting news on this that I want to talk about, and we'll come back and discuss it with OC. Where is that at? There we go. This article right here is the one that I'm talking about. Libra meme coin facilitator Hayden Davis admits that the team sniped the token at launch. Let's go see what he's saying here. Hayden Davis, widely known as an advisor and self-proclaimed facilitator to the controversial Libra token, said the project's team sniped Libra at its launch, claiming it was done to deter others from sniping. Interesting. Hey, good morning to Alex O Crypto in the house. What's up, bro? Got the gang in the house. Guys, drop those otters in the chat. Give a shout out to Otter. The Otter Lord. I was corrected this morning. The Otter Lord. Wi-Fi. You get a Wi-Fi. That's when you do a high five across Wi-Fi. Across the internet, you get a Wi-Fi, Alexo. Libra emerged last Friday after Argentina's president Javier Milei promoted the token. Libra's price surged to billions and then crashed in hours as Milei withdrew his support. So our goal was, can we take enough liquidity off to get all the snipers out, or at least control them, so that when the chart dipped down, it's not going to crush the whole project. He later added that the controlled team wallets holding over 100 million worth of funds netted from the Libra launch. Sniping is a term in crypto that typically refers to an automated bot or a smart contract executing programmed transactions to buy a large portion of newly launched tokens, typically to be sold later for a significant profit. Here's the interesting piece on this. When questioned about his behind-the-door deal with crypto influencer Dave Portnoy, Davis said Almost every meme coin launch has an insider trading event going on, and indicated that crypto key opinions leader Coles have insider knowledge before a token is launched, and it's standard procedure. Also, to note on this guy, where's he at? According to Davis, pretty substantial TV interview for Malay coming up. I think it's up here at the top. Let me find this. This is the interesting part. Davis also admitted that he was part of Melania Trump's meme coin, where the team also sniped its token. Let's jump back over here to Duo Cam OC. Dude, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Look, this guy was involved with the Melania Trump token, which we already know was just absolutely wrecked after the Trump token launched, and then it got wrecked. And now he does this Libra token that with another pro crypto president face on it, right? And then all of a sudden, bam, it sniped also. Should we just stop trusting anybody, no matter who they are, no matter what they say in the crypto space? What's your thoughts on this, man? Because it just seems to be a sad recycle of event over and over and over. Same event, change the name, change the people, same result. The retail get absolutely crushed. What's your thoughts on this?
Absolutely. I mean, this just like when you get called, right? And hey, we're the bank, we're Microsoft, and your computer has a ton of virus. You just need to pay or give us this and this and that, right? The scammer thing over a phone, right? But now the scammers have gone a little bit more intricate, right? And what they look for, it is those newbies that they take or they are in an important position. They convince them, and then I mean, come on, Melania, Trump, Malay, and then what is the guy behind it? I think they should be taking that guy in front of court or justice, because that is not good. I mean, and also the presidents or the influencers or whoever is behind it, they should also take accountability for it. I mean, not full accountability because you never know, but also, I mean, if they're gonna be showing or using their power of rich of their image, I think they should be doing their own investigation around it, right? And not just promoting anything, because at this point, man, those guys are like newbies. They have no idea. They just go, somebody with an important name in the industry comes around it, and they tell you know what, I got you a solution, and then you go bing, right? And then whatever happens is just they get wrecked, they get rug pulled. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely agree. I think if it's not in the top 100, just don't do anything with it.
Yeah. That's it too. That's it. Like, what is the history on this? That's why a couple of weeks ago we called out Litecoin, because we saw that Litecoin had an ETF announcement, right? They put an ETF request for Litecoin before the SEC. And I said, this is one of those legacy coins that digital silver, right? That's the narrative there on that. It's one of those digital assets that are legacy. People know it. It's got a long history and a lot of liquidity. That you're probably not going to make 1,000x on Litecoin, but you're also not going to get rug pulled on Litecoin, in my opinion. So that's be careful with the assets you guys are choosing to invest in. It's a very risky market, and it doesn't matter if it's Haktua Girl or President Trump or President Malay or your favorite celebrity. If they're launching a coin, there's probably, even if their intentions are good, there are nefarious people within the development world for these projects, and you got to be careful and do your due diligence. Don't get greedy. Don't get greedy and go, I'm buying this because it is the asset that's going to 1,000x for me and I'll get rich overnight. That's also the quickest way to become a millionaire: invest $1 billion in something that's garbage. There you go. So that's the way. Oh, see, what are you seeing on Bitcoin right now? Let's jump over and check out the 4-hour chart on Bitcoin, and then we'll come back and start talking about some of these legacy levels that we're watching right now, and break that all down. Let's jump over to your chart, bro.
Absolutely. Very clean, very clear. As you can easily see on my chart, of course, nobody can read this. Guys, if you're using indicators, take my word for it. Yes, and layer your indicators out, right? Because that is going to give you full control on what you're having on screen at certain points. So as you can see, we went from completely nonsense to...
And Piper can zoom it in for you too.
But what is it? Oh.
Piper can
Let's
zoom it
go
in
in.
for you too.
Nice. Perfect. Let's do that. All right. Guys, something that is just been bothering me a lot. And let me call myself out in this one. I've been for the last 2 weeks telling you, you know what, be patient, but also be aware of the weekends because I think this weekend it's going to be important. And just Bitcoin just doesn't want to go, man. I mean, it's been forming this pattern here, but it just doesn't seems to be having, enough propulsion to the upside to start breaking stuff to the upside. Now, I believe we have just like previous week, and that is because of this part of the charting here, where our dynamic reactors start moving a little bit sideways. Like starting doing that. So I think this is the definite zone where we should be very, very cautious and not look away. Right? I know I've been saying that for already, I think 1 or 2 weekends, but still be patient and do not look away. At this point, I do have a flip of the ribbon, or we have a flip of the ribbon with a reversal here. We are missing money flow, but dynamic reactor is coming in strong, and we also can see that we have not yet been able to break this support, which means we are squeezing, right? So what happens when you squeeze, I don't know, a bottle of ketchup? Of course, it goes blowing out of the window. Well, the ketchup inside, right? But we don't know where to. At this point, it seems that we're going to be going bearish, but things might be changing based on your money flow. Also, you can see here that we're extremely into consolidation, but also at the end of consolidation. So remember, 10 is just a magic number that we usually don't see. So be careful because we might be able to break at any point in here. Another thing that I want to show you, it is the liquidations. By the way, shout out to Chart Prime. This liquidation chart, it is free. Something that I really like to see in here, it is how close are we from the closest liquidation, so we can maybe have an idea where market makers might be interested to move the price to, right? For example, right here, 4.33 or 7.68. So it seems like we can still have that last pullback, right? And remember, this is not the first time that I've talked about this. The sweep of the lows, the spring before continuing upwards. And just to wrap it up, remember that on my other charts, we have an entry zone. There we go, around 89 and 87. This is still valid if we have a big AF candle wick like that, right? So just be careful because at any moment we could be doing that. Remember, just like Piper mentioned, your worst case scenario can be turned into an opportunity scenario. That's why we have this here, and we're not spending all of the money in a range. We are preparing for maybe that sweep of the lows that might happen here in the worst case scenario. But so far, even in daily, let me show you very quickly, we already have a flip of the ribbon and we're turning green. So hopefully, for the love of God, Bitcoin, do something, man. Do something. We're getting bored. Other than that, turn it back to you, Piper.
Appreciate it. Yeah, let's take a look at the BTC one. This is going to be your CME futures from the close that we had on Friday. Okay, and I do want to show you guys looking at the Friday close. Let's put this on the daily. There we go. Friday close on for the CME futures on Friday was sitting right around. Let's see here. That was about 97,600. So we do have a small CME gap. I'm going to go ahead and throw this on here for you guys just so you're aware of it. That CME gap, and then coming in at the opening this morning, little small gap sitting right there for us. Of course, this one back here already closed out here last week, so not bad there. And then we had another gap here that opened up from Tuesday to Wednesday. We wicked up and closed that out. So these gaps getting closed out pretty good. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about here, it's the gap between this level to this level between the 2 days at the market close overnight. We came back up, wicked there, both of them cleaned out. So a lot of times these gaps do get cleaned out. So we do have a CME gap as of right now from Friday to right now, but that's only going to take us up to about 97,575. We'll call it. Keep an eye on that CME gap there. But I want to talk about these higher time frames because looking at the Pi cycle indicator here, guys. we have the two moving averages, and historically when they cross, we get the indicator, hey, pi cycle top, and then big pullback. We did have this one outlier here where we came back and bounced pretty high, but over cycles, pi cycle top has been really good at calling the market tops here. I want to go up here and show you on the index. There we go. There's pi cycle top back here in 2017. Okay, right now where we are squeezing in between, and I want to point this out, is the historical golden pockets here from trend-based fibs. This is from cycle lows to cycle highs to cycle lows. So for example, this fib here that I just highlighted was pulled from the levels of the bottom here to the top to the bottom of 2022. And that trend-based fib gives us a projection for the trend top to be a golden pocket. We do have one outlier. We broke a little bit above it here, but historically this has been an indication of top line price action, right? But right now now with multiple rejections out of this on a daily chart, we're pushing really hard against the lower moving average of the pi cycle indicator. And I do think that if we break this, we need to recover it quite quickly, because if we don't, if it doesn't stay as our support, we tend to go underneath it and it becomes our resistance for quite a while. Sometimes it's even the indication of your entire bear market, which you can see here. We had a little breakup above it, but for the most part, it was our resistance all the way down for our moving average until we got back above it and it became support again, right? So watching that very closely right now, the pi cycle indicator, if this does break below this, guys, we will start seeing the upper moving average come down while this continues to go up. And then we could be looking at a cross, which would be, again, the top of the cycle. So watching that pretty close. But the one thing that I want to talk about, this was on the thumbnail this morning, is my fib channels here, because we've got channels that we have been pretty much in since the bottom here. And this is a weekly chart, just so you guys are aware. But since our bottom here in 2022, we've been pretty much trading in between the platinum pocket and the golden pocket. That has been our range. I've been watching closely every cycle for the bottoming here on the platinum pocket. That would be the 786 of the fib channels. If you guys have never seen this and you're new here, this is my all-time history, the full history of Bitcoin in a trend-based fib extension, and our fib channel, I should say. And you can see historically golden pocket been key level. This cycle, first time we ever broke it, went beneath it after about 2 months of consolidating inside of that golden pocket, and then it now has become our resistance. So every time we've gotten close to this thing, we've had a pullback. A pull down right now to our bottom channel here, the 786, would be about a $70,000 Bitcoin. Our top levels right now will go as high as the upper golden pocket band would be about 148. Okay, so I want you guys to keep that all in mind. Something ironic about that is, if we go and we look at our resistance band here, which historically has been the upper moving average here of the pi cycle, where is that one coming in at right now? That's going to be coming in at about $148,000. Again, that is the top of the golden pocket here currently, $148,000. But if we go in on here, and let me get rid of the brush marks, there we go, and we go into this local channel, you'll see there's like a local channel here that we have isolated into, and let's put this on the daily so we can have a little more history here. A little more candles, please. On here, we've lost to 50%, but we're holding strong support right now on our 328. Okay, this is going to be your 32.8% fib here. And so looking at this bounce level, we have the 50 coming in right now above us. That's going to be coming in right about, let me turn off the magnet so it quits doing that. There we go. That's going to be right about $105,000. Now, I do find some interest in that, because if we go over and we look at the heat map, right now on the weekly, we do have zones up here at about $100,000. But if we go into some higher time frames here on the heat map, you'll see that up here about $108,000, starting at $107,000 to $108,000. We have a big liquidity bubble up there. Right now, to get up there, I think that we're going to need to see a little more liquidity come into the markets, or I pull back to wash out all those longs, take all that money and use that as the foundation to give us another upside move here on the charts. So, OC, what are you thinking about the liquidity right now in the overall market? Are we going to see this liquidity continue to wash out, or are we going to see some way that we can get some money into the markets here soon? Because right now we need liquidity to break this sideways action. What's your thoughts on that?
I believe that we need to start looking at indexes at this point. Remember that Bitcoin is just a small piece of the big clock. And yes, I know we're fighting to get there with the big guys, but again, I always repeat this because it's a good point of perspective. We're smaller in market cap than Meta, right? So that means that whatever money can move the markets will also influx in what's going on. Something that we have on our side is institutional money is rushing in while we are around 100K, despite Meta, for example, is not even worth 100K, right? So I would say that liquidity will come. We just need to see a far enough point. Yeah, I was just looking at this. Let me just bring it up here. We're going to be seeing that liquidity, especially since we're keeping an eye on SPX, for example. I want to see this breakthrough, then hold it above. This is a good signal that we are also above the zero line here. And while we see stabilizing of markets, or at least not losing the 500, the 6,000, sorry, lining here, I think that Bitcoin, it is the meme coins of the traditional markets, right? So when we see indexes ranging, I think we're going to be seeing Bitcoin pumping, and that is because of that rotation of capital that we'll see as we see stable markets. Talking about the major scheme of things that you mentioned, I think we also need to take a look at what does the SEC pushes through in the next couple of meetings, and keep an eye on the interest rates. I think that's going to be a big influence in the markets. Also, I want to ask you something, Piper. How are the 10-year bonds doing? Because you've been keeping a track on those, right? And I think
Yep.
that will be key to start predicting how the movement of the money will bounce to. And sorry to
Yeah,
keep
we've
you
had a
off guard. It just came to my mind to click.
yeah, we had a little bit of a pullback on it. Let me bring this up here. There we go. Yeah, we had a little bit of a pullback here on the treasury yields. It was getting up to about 4.7% on the 10-year treasury bond. Now it's at about 4.478, so staying just below that 4.5, which means people are buying it up. When this starts to drop, that means that people are buying the 10-year treasury. When it starts to go up in the percentage, that means people are selling it off. They raise the rates. When the rates go up, those rates are being raised to entice people to want to buy it again. So two ways that you can get those rates to move is either you print new bonds, right? Which would be creating debt, which is how they print money, right? If you guys don't know, that's how the bonds work. When they print new bonds, new treasury bills, and put them out onto the market, they're promising debt, and that's how we accumulate debt. One of the ways, and so hey, we'll pay you this percentage in the 10-year period, right? And then they have that debt that people gave money to for that promissory note on the bond to take that money and print new money. So that is how new money gets printed, is one of the ways right there. It's not literally somebody going in and turning on a printer. It's got to be backed by something, which debt is what we use for the U.S. fiat system. And then that is the treasury bond. So that is your money printer, the 10-year treasury right there. There you go. Little breakdown for you guys. If you didn't know, now you know. But yeah, right now it's sitting at about 4.478. And selling off, dropping down, which means it's being bought up, I should say, being bought up right now. So that could be liquidity, honestly. But if we start to see this move back towards 5, that would be a lack of liquidity, and that's not a good thing. So that's what I'm seeing there. But I want to go talk about this guy. I'm going to come over here. We're going to get rid of screen. Go away, screen. And let's bring up my phone. Here's a way that we could get some liquidity. I was watching this on TikTok last night, and I follow this guy. He does a lot of economic breakdowns. He's kind of a fudster when it comes to where are we with recession. More fudster than me, if you will. But one of the things that he was talking about was Doge had an announcement about all the money that they have found that was being wasted and how that could play out for liquidity. So a couple of things that he's talking about here could be liquidity. Let's take a listen here.
No more federal income tax and $8,000 back for every man, woman, and child inside the United States. This is what we're talking about as a possibility today. Now, neither of these are 100% confirmed, but they are on the table. So first off, let's talk about income tax. How much more money would you have back if you had no federal income tax whatsoever? How much would that help you throughout the year? I know that would help my family substantially, but to top that off, Elon Musk said that DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, has found so much wasteful spending, over $2 trillion, that Americans deserve a check back for the money that they've found. It would be about $8,000 for every man, woman, and child. Now, if you remember the stimulus checks, those were around $2,000 for every man, woman, and child. We're talking about 4 times the size of the check. So if you actually cut federal income tax and then you had $8,000 in checks back to the Americans, this would boost our economy like we have never seen before. What would you do with no income tax and $8,000 for each person?
So yeah, there you go. $8,000 stimulus check and no federal tax. OC, I don't know about you. I could definitely know exactly what to do with that money. It would not be difficult. Guys, let me know in the chat. What would you do with an $8,000 stimulus check right now? Would you be buying, or would you be waiting to see some better levels coming in to buy? I would love to know what you guys think. What do you think? I agree. Andy, yes, we need to implement a VAT tax. Most of the world does VAT tax. What you see at the store, that's it. And then, it works. They use it in Europe. A lot of military deal with VAT all the time in Germany. So Mexico also. So yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, what would you guys do with $8,000 right now if the federal government said, "Hey, we found all this extra money. What would you like to do with your $8,000?" Let me know in the chat what you guys would do. Wixwife Fine 89 said, "I'd throw 8K into Bitcoin." OC, what would you do with $8,000 right now? Would you deploy it all? Would you do 50% of it and then hold off on the rest? Let me know. What's the $8,000 plan for OC if you lived here and got an $8,000 check?
Oh man! First of all, quick question: is it too late to take my what is it residency on the States? I don't know, man. Because no, I mean, just a joke, guys. But I would put it onto either compound savings, and that is because here in Mexico we're being offered up to 16% annualized, right? But that's higher risk. So I will put it there, or even get at this point USDC or USDT, because they're very good return rates on a USDC and USDT if you know where to look for. But also, guys, do not. This is not a commercial. This is not an ad. This is not nothing. But also, this comes with a warning: do not go put it somewhere shady, because that's where you get, like they tell you, 10% daily. No. I think the absolute most that you can get is up to 10 or 11% annually on your money. So that's what I do. I just put it in compound savings for the near future, because I'm looking for a retracement on Bitcoin, and then get Bitcoin with that.
There you go. I would probably continue on my DCA method. I'm going to be breaking that down here in a minute, but for you guys. But let's go look at the chat, see what everyone says here. Al Jr. said, "I would buy a ranch and finally start my dog rescue center." Dude, I would donate some of my money to that. So there you go. I'd throw 8K into Bitcoin. That's what Wick's wife Fine said. Randy said, "Throw a party." I can go for a party too. I just don't know what the return on investment is. What is the ROI on a party nowadays? What else we got here? Retro Mike Tech said no income tax would mean everyone's salary would likely get reduced by 30%. I know where your mindset is on that. I know where you're getting that number from. But let's be clear. The average federal income tax rate for the average American is not 30%. It's actually closer to 17%, because your brackets are, you've got brackets of this amount of money to this amount of money is this bracket. And so that averages out to about 17%. I don't disagree that you might see that, but I don't know how companies would justify giving someone less money after paying them this money. I think that would be an overtime thing. You would see pay increases lessen because people are making more. I also do think, though, that it would absolutely raise our inflation rate if people had more money to buy more things and not pay federal income tax. But yeah, the average income earner in America pays 17% federal tax. So I did the math. I broke it down. I didn't believe it either, but it's true. It is absolutely true. B-Team Crypto, I would get my daughter braces. You're not lame, dude. That's being a good dad, B-Team Crypto. Randy said, wifey, good move. I agree. What's up, Randy? How you doing today, bro? They can't control you as well without looming IRS threat. That's true, too. Buck, what would you do with the other 90%? What did username say? I would buy the maple leaves. And then Buck said, well, what would you do with the other 90%? Dude, leave Canada. Leave the Leafs alone, man. Jeez. I forgot a few zeros. It's 6K. Okay, not so bad. There you go. Harp, not when I moved them to the U.S. NHS is horrific. Can't agree. I agree. The NHS is horrific. Did you guys hear the boos that came out yesterday at the game when they played the U.S. anthem? It was pretty, the American national anthem. It was pretty bad. Alex O was not pleased this morning on his live stream, let me tell you. He said, bad Canadians. All right, so there's been issues between me and the project community members. Legal stuff doesn't get any better. I may leave the crypto space. RetroPike Tech, you can't leave the crypto space. We'll create an alternate profile for you, and you can be anonymous in the space. We'll call you something else. I don't know. You cannot leave us, though. We need you in the space. You saved me on Caspa, bro. All right, OC, let's go talk about the dollar cost averaging, because that's what a lot of people said that they would do. I'm pretty sure the serious answers would be buying Bitcoin. But so as you guys know, we did a thing with my crypto. I did a thing. I sold most of it off at around 102.7K. Well, all of it, actually. All alt's gone. And then I started my DCA reset on a weekly basis based on the risk levels of Bitcoin. So, for example, if the risk level is between 50 and 60%, that's DCA times 2, so on and so forth. The lower the risk band, so when you're like 30 to 40%, that's like a 4x on your DCA. So it's DCA times 4. We do this in our Discord community and stuff. But right now, I'm going to pull this up and show you the DCA plan, the Piper plan. And keep in mind, these numbers that I'm showing in here are actually not the true numbers. It's actually better than that, because when we hit wristband 70 to 80, 80 to 90, and 90 to 100, we close out 30% of our token count, 50% of our token count, and then 20% of our token count. So there is a profit-taking method layered on top of the investment method here on the DCA. So let's jump over to the chart there and show where we currently are with this right now. Here's the DCA update for the week, guys. This morning, did another 2x entry on my dollar cost average here for Bitcoin, spot buy times 2x, right? And so I'm doing $1,000 a week because I took a lot of profits. I made a lot of money on the bear market on the way down and on the way back up. So I'm doing $1,000 a week for my base DCA, and then times 2, because currently we're in a wristband right now of, I believe it's 5. Let me go over here and take a look. Yeah, 57.4% is our wristband. This is the wristbands that I'm talking about, guys, on Bitcoin. So as we go down in these wristband levels, right there. So it's 70 to 80%. That's 30% out of our token count. That's 50% out, which would make an 80%. And then our last 20 is a Hail Mary there for the 90 to 100. Didn't even hit that level of risk, by the way, last cycle. So you would have been running 20% exposure still that whole time. But then times 1 is 60 to 70, times 2, times 3, times 4, so on and so forth. Just break that down for you on a quick synopsis there, guys. But looking at currently right now, I've got $12,000 in for 6 out of 6 weeks. We've been in a DCA window, and then we've accumulated 0.12 Bitcoin now, and that is sitting at 11,736. I think it actually is a little bit better than that, putting us down about 2.2%. So that's all we've lost of our Bitcoin is 2.2% because of the dollar cost average. And if I actually look over here on my Coinbase, I'll give you a real-time update. Looking at this right now, I got to look at this and my cold storage because I just bought this and I got to move it over. I'm down about 2.3% on here right now. So not doing too bad on the real-time look on this on the DCA plan, guys. But yeah, that's the dollar cost average reset. And we do this every week in our Discord for Bitcoin. And then for our upperclassmen, we also do Litecoin, Solana, XRP, so on and so forth. There's a whole list over there. Ethereum, link, so on and so forth. So, but yeah, DCA. Sure, why not? Let's take that $8,000 and let's throw that at some Bitcoin on a continued DCA effect. That's what I would do with that. That's what I would do with my $8,000 stimulus return check. Oh, see, we were talking about that Bitcoin dominance and 71% line. Let's go ahead and bring up that chart that you have on your end, because historically we've seen something at 71% that has been an indicator of alt season. What are you seeing, and where are we at right now with our Bitcoin dominance, man?
Well, at this point, we can see that there's a line in here, not a line, but a channel, right, between 50 and 71. So historically, or at least the last cycle, we have seen that as we jump in and out of that channel, this is where our altcoin season starts, right? So at this point, we're seeing that we've been teasing here for the fake out, now going back, now going up. But something that I want to talk about this in this point, other than the run numbers, is dilution. I do remember that we talked about this on a Chart Prime's private class, where we talked about, all right, how much of that 71, right, percentage based on the previous other coins were. So my estimates is that percentage, it is being diluted, because how many more other coins we have at this point that we didn't have on the previous cycle. And I think we can start seeing that based on how volatility start happening here, then how we concentrate here. And I believe that we could be looking at something like a trend line or something along those lines, right? I'm not sure if we're going to be pushing it to the upside or to the downside, but maybe we can start looking at a shift on percentage. Nonetheless, we are breaking back above, and until I don't see price of Bitcoin going down and dominance kind of flipping between this area with a big maybe fail swing pattern here, but as a fake out and then coming back in, well then I don't think that I'm going to be investing so much in icons. Nonetheless, we know that we need to keep our eye between 58 and 71. Tied to that, Piper's call for Litecoin. So, Piper, you want to keep going into the dominance and explain maybe a little bit more on this after seeing the charts? Or would you like to tie it to Litecoin call that you have been given? That you
No,
gave,
I say just keep an eye on. I say just keep an eye on that 71%. But yeah, let's go talk about, because we looked at Bitcoin versus Litecoin dominance this morning, and that Litecoin call a couple of weeks ago. Let's look at that chart first on Litecoin. I want to bring that up here, and then we're going to jump over and take a look at that dominance chart on OC's chart, because he did a little breakdown on it. But let's jump over to my chart here and let's talk about Litecoin right now, guys. We are getting a pullback into our median margin here for our dynamic pivots, brought to you by Chart Prime. You can see level 1, level 2, level 3, and then we get a pullback here. So right now we are closing in on the quantum reactor. The level to watch, in my opinion, is going to be $116.80. It's going to be our lower band here, the median margin for the pivot lines. It's also going to be where our dynamic reactor and quantum reactor are showing us a little bit of confluence. We are dropping to the downside here on the oscillator ribbon, but it does look like it would be in that range for it to get a bounce also. So yeah, watch about $117 dollars per token there. But let's talk about the dominance of Bitcoin versus Litecoin, because we've seen a little switch up. OC, let's look at your chart, see what that looks like.
So this is Bitcoin versus Litecoin. Something that it's common to misinterpret here is which one is the best at the beginning. Sorry, not the best. At this point, Bitcoin versus Litecoin. This means that this is the price of Bitcoin related to Litecoin, which means that if we see it going down, this part in here means that Litecoin is getting more appreciated based on Bitcoin, right? So despite we have seen a historical move to the upside here, we also can see that when we start using that dynamic reactor, we get a period where we can maybe take advantage of that rotation of capital and maybe start investing on altcoin a little bit heavier to then get a better result between Litecoin and Bitcoin, right? Regardless regardless of what you do, remember, if you're going to be taking a look at this chart and you want to try to get as much money out of this, it doesn't matter what you invest in here. Which, that being said, if you buy Litecoin with USDT or USDC, as long as you sell it to Bitcoin, you exchange your Litecoin to Bitcoin at the end of the rally or at the bottoming part of it of the rally, you're gonna get a better bang for your buck or a payment on your investment. So just keep an eye on this one. We've seen this with a ton of volatility, but also tied to the dominance. We could maybe start timing where we're going to be seeing that drop of value of Bitcoin while having a better value on a Litecoin. So that's what I got, Piper.
Yep, that's good. That's good. I just saw a note message here. Let's jump back over to Duocam. Lunar Beach has said breaking Argentina stock market plummets after Malay meme coin scandal. Yeah, we just talked about that earlier. So it's not going good for him down there, man. Lawsuits and everything coming out of him, possible impeachment. So let's take a look at this article here, continuing on this trend about Litecoin versus Bitcoin, because absolutely right, dude. That swap option where you can swap between Bitcoin and Litecoin could lead to some pretty good money. According to a crypto analyst here, they're predicting a 1,500% pump as Litecoin grows against Bitcoin, which we just showed you on that chart. When it's going down like that, that means that Bitcoin is losing value versus Litecoin's value, right? So Litecoin been on a little pump. Litecoin has been gaining momentum in recent weeks. And according to crypto analyst Tony the Bull Severino, this might be just the beginning of an explosive rally, although Litecoin also started February on a decline alongside the rest of the crypto market. It has since detached and recovered from those losses. Interesting Litecoin price move has seen it outperforming against Bitcoin. In a post showed on X, Severino projected that Litecoin could significantly outperform Bitcoin in the coming months and pump by 1,500%. Don't know about that one, but we'll continue on here. Litecoin's growth strength against Bitcoin. It's remained relatively quiet, Litecoin has, in this market cycle, drawing less attention compared to things like Bitcoin, Solana, and XRP. However, technical analysis shows that Litecoin has started to outperform Bitcoin. OC just showed you that. He noted that Litecoin will continue to push upwards in this channel, which will cause the price to continue outperforming Bitcoin on the monthly time frame. Regarding a price prediction, the analyst noted two targets for the pair. The first target being 0.006, so that would be on the swap chart, and then which is just around the upper trend line of this channel. Then you can see that channel right there. Upper trend line would be in that range of about 0.006275. From here, a continued breakout is expected to push Litecoin Bitcoin pair to the final target of 0.02 Bitcoin. So, 1,500% move. I don't know. I think that's a little. I think that's a little far of a bridge too far. But what are your thoughts on it, OC?
I think there's an open window there. I mean, especially since we are seeing Bitcoin just stall for a little bit, and there's something important that we need to keep an eye on this. When you start doing between altcoin swap, right? You need to take track of the money that you invested. That being said, USDT, USDC, and also the main asset that you're looking for to gain, and the secondary asset that you're looking up to trade. So it gets a little complicated, but I do think that there is a chance that we can take advantage of, but also be careful with that range that we are on Bitcoin. If we're seeing that range being breaking out in dominance, not getting into that as 55 to 70% range, be careful, because at that point, yeah, you might be able to sell your altcoin for a profit, but that will be selling it to a profit on or over USDT or USDC and not over Bitcoin. There's a little bit of a risk involved there, but if you still like altcoin like I do, you can get some, and that's what I mentioned first. Get it with a stable coin, so maybe you then can get out both are or rather to Bitcoin or USDT, USDC. So you always can guarantee a profit on that trade.
Yep, yep. The swaps get a little wonky. You got to really watch slippage, because when you go from token to token, you're really looking at slippage from each side. Also, I mean, that can separate those returns. So, got to be very careful with that. So, Melissa, you did miss the news. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to go back and check it out. But the one last thing I want to leave you guys with here before we go is something that's going on, and we talked about this last night. Lunar Beach has talked about this on the Markets After Dark show. We were calling this out to him in the chat, and he pulled it over. But let's go talk about what we're actually seeing right now on the weekly with Bitcoin, and why I would be hesitant right now to do too much swapping, because while that ratio may be changing out, you might be getting in on a downward trend. Taking a look at Bitcoin here on the weekly MACD, guys, we talked about this when we got the first one here last week. We are continuing to see this the histogram give us this sell-off indication and the bearish signal there. We're still above the 50% line for downtrend on the RSI ribbon on the weekly, and we're just now leaving the 70% range, looking like a continuation of the RSI heat candles, giving us downside move there on the Heikenashis. We're not seeing much wicking going on here and stuff, so that means that this price action range that we're stuck in here between our delta and our predictive ranges and our lower support band could be looking to lose this level and head down, which would be about an $85,000 Bitcoin, guys, just to be aware of that. So I do want to see some strengthening here on the weekly indicators, which we would obviously see on the daily first. But as of right now, it looks like we're going back into a more reddish pink here, which would mean that we're starting to see maybe a saddle here on the histogram for another downside move. And you can see we're not getting across there on the signal line for the MACD right there. We're actually getting a continuation wave on the MACD, just like we have seen historically, like here. Well, this price kept going down here while we went sideways, and then we got a little pump rally. But overall, guys, got to keep an eye on this level right now. That level to watch here on the predictive ranges is about 93,250. We'll call it. But on the daily, we are seeing money flow starting to flatten out, more downside move on the RSI prime. So until we get out of this bearish structure on all of the oscillators here across the board, we got to keep an eye on what Bitcoin price is going to do. And when I look at the weekly, it looks more bearish than bullish, because historically, if you go back, when we've had these bearish playouts on the weekly, guys, they've led to some pretty significant pullbacks here on price action. We did have one little bubble here that it did do a pullback, but it was a very small pullback, very small range. But that was up higher there on the predictive ranges. You can see that was much higher in the pocket than what we are right now. We're low in that pocket beneath the median range. So that would mean that we are likely going to be paying a visit to the bottom here at some point, around $85,300. OC, we're about to head out of here. We got about 2 minutes. You got anything real quick you want to show, or are we ready to bounce out of here and wrap it up? What do you want to do? We're heading over to Crypto Coin Mindset today. So going to go see him and Trade Intuition. They're going live in just a minute. So what do you got for us?
Let's go for a couple of trades here, trade setups that we gave a call, and maybe it's time to start looking at back again. So by the way, guys, we gave the OM trade on the Piper Academy Discord. So if you're not there yet, well, then just go for it. Today morning, I also gave the call to take your money and run away. So that is because, I mean, it's been a crazy rally here. I remember that because of the danger, we were expecting to enter with 50% out, right? Sorry, 50% in, first 50% out, and then take your money and run. At this point, we're creating some sort of a bull flag, but also we're not going to be jumping back in unless I see money flow jumping back up. And then for follow-up, our flip of the ribbon like we saw in here. You see how we flat out there. We have flip of the ribbon, and then we have one or two candle chances to then jump back in. Well, then that's exactly what we're talking about at this point. Look at that trend line, look at the break of the trend line, look at that flip of the ribbon, same pattern we're talking about here, right? So do not jump in early. Be careful, because Bitcoin, it's in a dangerous zone at this point, right? Let's take a look at another one, which is Supra. It is at a danger point. We gave an entry right here. At this point, I will be saying that take your take 50% of your profits and move your stop to entry. That's what. And why is that? Because we already have the break through the zero line in here, basically, and I just don't see any major candle. And even if we have a major candle, we have a big order block, a loud order block here and another loud order block there. So we need to be careful because we could be looking at a late movement like this one. So we need to be prepared. Take your money when you can still have it, right? So and just to finalize, Pendle, take 50% out, move your stop to entry. Once again, we have a flip of the ribbon, but this seems to be a good inverted goose head, which means we could maybe be having another re-entry somewhere around 324. So again, 50% out, move and stop to entry, and then prepare for another entry right there. So as you can see, this is how we're managing the trades. There's a time to be harvest, right? And even if we don't have the what we were expecting, the timing based on the volume and the pattern on screen, it's just been ticking, and it's just time to de-risk at this point. So be responsible, guys, and turn it back to you, Piper.
Awesome, guys. If you guys got anything out of today's content, smash that like button. It's free and it helps us out immensely here on the channel. We appreciate you all. And also, if you got a friend out there that needs to know this info, please share it with them. Shout out to everybody that joined us today. We will be back here tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the market open tomorrow. No federal holiday, getting that going, and then also seeing what the economic data looks like, guys. We will be back here to catch you all tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in today, guys. I want to remind you, Crypto Nightcap tonight. We got all shows all day long here on the channel, but Crypto Nightcap tonight, he's going to be doing a very special fireside chat talking about the current market conditions here. Let me pull this up and show you real fast. There we go. Tonight, fireside chat with Crypto Billy tonight with TradeFly on the Crypto Nightcap. That's the name of the show. Got 5 shows here today. So be sure to tune into that fireside chat with Crypto Billy. Looking forward to watching that episode. But guys, we're about to head out. Hit Crypto Coin Mindset when you get over there. Drop those graduation caps. We will catch you guys then. Until next time, trade safe. And as always, use some risk management, guys. Thanks for joining us today. Later.
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul train ready. What a line spaghetti, yo. Crux Crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline.
Boom shakalaka!
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. Sound off
To get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra. Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean.
That was awesome, dude!